is Jefe Banks Music.
When you're sticking to the script, it's a lonely road. Before they left the hole and tank, the big homie told. He know the way this testimony hold. On that Loff, they gon' politic on him cold. SPI Bank EC for really though. Used to really go, ask my nigga Chili Mo. Had a cold gun game, crazy knuckle up. Bust on enemies with baby.
Nigga with Nip Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
On my mama, the only words I done heard young and Jefe say was today's hot topic is Tonnie Lo. And I just say that to say this is gonna be brand new for me, just like y'all if you haven't heard it already. I'm watching it for the first time when I'm uploading it throughout the process before I can push pause, because I be wanting to be fresh. I don't be wanting to know what I'm hear. I want y'all to get a real raw reaction. So before I go put pause, he said today's, but mind you, he had an intro. I take the intro out and I go to the end and I cut the end off just so we get the meat of what the individual is actually saying and not the extras. He's telling a story about a fight with Tonnie Lo from 11 May EC. It's about a 20-minute story, it seems. Now, I'm gonna say this off top. You see, it made me pull out one of my old t-shirts. In the spirit, you see certain content, we avoid it for the most part here in the black box when it come to game related, but y'all know, when the EC's mentioned, not every time, but every now and then, it sparked my interest. Now, let me say this for the Loffs in general, like, the Loff, that brand name of Loken is a cold name. You know, the Spiders and the Loffs at many different times throughout, politicking and through the years, the names intertwine, right? However, this particular Loff that I believe he may be talking about, because I know he been to the feds, and I know Cuz had went to the feds. He just came home from the feds a few years ago and didn't live too long after that. And of course, he got, some people will argue with you, but for the most part, that Loff don't, well, they won't argue about this. Cuz don't fit in with the real pedigree of Loffs that's known out here from 11 May. Cuz was more like a 600 type, like Cuz had licks. He was up on his paper type and he had niggas that with him because of that. But then as soon as he wasn't on the giving end, he went through a whole lot of bullshit. There was a video circling around the set of Cuz getting DP'd at like 40-some years old by some young, all that. And he ain't no big old dude. So I'm wondering like, dang, I wonder why Ant will be telling a story about fighting that cat. He ain't no reputable like that. Some homies had love for him though, don't get me wrong, probably still do. And but I know he feeding up with Kiko, and I know if he'd have hollered at Kiko probably would have told him, or maybe he know the deal, and he just making content, telling stories. Maybe it's just one on his list, man, I don't know. But it seemed like in the spirit of Monster Cody, Ant is picking up where he left off with telling their side of a lot of stories. I know when he was still coming through the black box, we had dialogue about him having the little homie from Stevenson Village on there, talking about the 50 and 0. He was on here, we talked about how, why and when, why he did that, whatever. And then I just was steer clear. But, to each his own, and out here doing his thing in a real big way. And with no further ado, we're gonna see what he say, him and Tonnie Lo been up to.
We said beginning of hot topic is Tonnie Lo from the 11-8 East Coasters. Rest in peace his soul. I met Tonnie Lo in Victorville when I was in Victorville Medium, High Medium. Loff had came over from the Victorville pen yard. Loff was one of the persons, if you ran into him or crossed paths with him in life, for sure, he was an unforgettable person. And Loff was unforgettable.
Now I know we talking about the same person because as soon as he got out the feds, he came straight to the black box. And he was a character. Oh, my mama. He was drunk as a muff. He got to tell me, trying to talk about the homie Lil JR, how close they was, how tight they was. Begged me to call Lil JR and had Lil JR pull up in the black box. JR came through and stayed there for exactly about 7 seconds and got on Cuz East Side.
Because the immolation and characteristics that Loff put on in his crippin'. Loff is one of the people that had one of the coldest walks I've ever seen. The lamp walk, you know what I'm saying? And he had the braids, and he will put you in favor or character of the rapper out of Compton, MC8. Loff had been down probably about 10, 11, 12 years at this time. I had met him and probably had about like 3 or 4 more to go. He was real short. Loff came over, as I said, from Victorville Pen to Victorville Medium, and he came to my unit, which was D Upper. Victorville Medium consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, but 12 in all, because of these 6 buildings. At the top, there's buildings, and then there's buildings on the bottom, but one building in half, which go in alphabetical order of A. So A upper, A lower, B lower, B lower, B upper, C lower, C upper, D lower, D upper, and so on, all the way to F unit. Loff came up to my unit, D unit. So in D unit, in the feds, a lot of things are territorial as far as where you sit.
I'm gonna just say this: if this story finna turn into like he beat up Loff, they're in 2 different weight classes. I'll just say that off top.
That what TV you have and how many TVs you have. So in this unit, the Crips, we had 3 TVs. It was 3 Crip TVs, 1 white boy TV, 2 Southsider TVs, and 2 Paisa TVs.
There was a time when a person would tell a story like this, and they was like, man, I remember a time I was in jail. There was another keyway homie, and ba-da-da-da-da, bam, 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 and go through the whole thing. I'm just curious as to motivation of why people who still be out in the streets moving around feel behooved to come on the internet, name names, and talk about having violence one toward the other when they represent tribes that could potentially be irritated by the sharing of these tales. I'm just curious. I'm not knocking nobody, just curious about what their motivation be. When you could tell the same war story and be like, I remember I was in the Fed. It was a Crip homie. I ain't gonna say no name, but he was from a hood that ain't really like an ally hood, but they ain't enemies, and we was here. Da da da. That's a perfect setup, and we just had to,
2 of the Crip TVs, I had a remote to. I control one. The homie Fat Dog controlled the other TV from Shotgun, but he had worked Unicorn, and while he was at work,
I could see a potential issue building right there. So he making it sound like no homies had no say so. It was all them.
the homie Tonnie Lo from East Coast and the homie Lottie from Long Beach Insane would control that TV. The third TV was more like of a sports
I couldn't hear if he said they did or wanted to.
TV. The homie LL from Pocket Hood and the homie H from Front Hood they controlled that TV. And on the TV that I had and was controlling, pretty much was like more than like urban stuff, because for like the young homies, there was a lot of young dudes on the yard at the time. You know, they want to watch the Love and Hip Hops, the TMZs, you know, the bubbly stuff. So me and Loff had always been straight, had never had a problem. You know, like I said, he was a Crip. You know, I
Wait, you mean in this jungle, when gangster neighborhood, 11-8 neighborhood, not block, when 11-8 neighborhood and the gangsters see each other in this jungle, Adam, it ain't immediate. Sparks don't fly immediately? What do you mean? You ask ho no honey?
never had no reason to question this Crippin' or go against him. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the way he put on, I gave him that.
Oh, it sounded like Ant figured it out, what I was talking about in the beginning. All right.
And he had been around. I had never really heard anything wrong or bad, like foul, about Loff, you know. But you come to find out in life, when dealing with people, you'll be around people who know people, and they keep people's secrets sacred until the hatred or something happens between them people. And that's when you start learning about stuff like, oh, this dude a buster, or this dude did that. Crazy work.
Oh, boy, I'm reading between the lines now. I'm hearing something none of y'all ain't hearing. Wow. Okay.
So, like I said, Loff, that was the homie. You know, we used to eat together, come together on meals. I'd make a meal, he'd make a meal type situation. Loff didn't really smoke like that, but what Loff did do, being that Loff, you know what I'm saying, had a little change put up, it was getting.
He was drinking. He was a drunk. I bet you he say that. And then when he mentioned the change, he probably finna say he was getting it in from the street.
Money. Loff will buy stuff from me, you know what I'm saying, to sell. You know what I'm saying? Loff will buy like little stuff from me off the yard, you know what I'm saying, to double his money and stuff like that. He would definitely support the hustle. We will buzz down and stuff like that. You know, I used to buzz down with Loff as well. I don't remember how. We probably played some dominoes, but like I said, Loff was straight. East Coast ain't no enemy of mine, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was, we always, you know what I'm saying, was embracing of each other. So, lo and behold, one day, rest in peace, my father, too. I'm on the phone with my father, and at this time, I had some glasses that was some called Bagaris that had the diamond, had the diamonds in them. So I probably had paid like $1,500 to $1,800 somewhere for these glasses, and as well, I had the what's the name lenses placed in them.
Damn, it slipped my tongue. I was trying to get it for him. I'm cheating now by pausing it, but I think he gonna say interchangeable where they change colors. I'm just guessing.
I can't think right now. My mind drawing a blank. I can't think of the lenses right, but the lenses I had in the glasses.
Not change color, but when you go in the sun, they turn to sunglasses.
Was like sun fleckery lenses, like, you know, they was clear lenses, but when you come in the sun, they automatically transition lenses. They go dark. So, you know, I'm calling out because I was trying to get them doing like a visit or something. I'm sending her through medical. I called to the streets looking for my glasses, and lo and behold, when I was first trying to locate them, my brother had them. So he had ended up going to jail. While he was in jail with the glasses. I had sent word out there, hey, send those glasses. I'm trying to get my own glasses, you know what I'm saying? My brother went to his court date, handed the glasses over. The glasses ended up in my daddy's hands. My daddy, you know.
I ain't seen Aunt Jefe content in a minute, but he seemed a lot milder, calmer, subdued than I realized. Is this normal, the new norm for him, y'all, or is this just out of character? He just like chill today, maybe he ain't just lit.
Had real style, you know, he liked to dress like real nice, like sharp. So when my daddy seen these glasses, off the rip, soon as he seen them, he like, this is a 9, this is a fine piece of art right here. And he kept my glasses. So when I'm called up trying to look for my glasses, I don't remember all what led up, but I sent word back to my brother sent word back out there, man, I've been sent your glasses to the house. And then I called in the mom, say, hey, what's going on with my glasses? Bro said he sent my glasses, I need my glasses. My mama like, your daddy got the glasses. Put him on the phone. Get on the phone with my father, hey, man, I need my glasses. So my father like, oh, well, what you want for them? I'll pay you for them. I don't want you to pay me for them. The glasses was in jail. With my little bro, I had him send them to the streets. So why would I have him send them to the streets only to sell them to you? It don't make no sense. So we have a little back and forth, and the back and forth conclude with him giving me my goddamn glasses. Or I'm gonna just take my lens out of them. Hurry up and take them out of them, because I don't even know who told you to go put your own customized lenses in my glasses anyway. So he take the lenses out. I make sure he hand the lenses to my mama. I'll tell my mama that my baby mama gonna come grab the glasses. From the back and forth and the heated exchange me and my father had, I must admit I was irritated, but I've long understood and been over.
I'm gonna keep it a Google. This is a long, dragged out version of a fight story. I probably should have did a little more going through it and got straight to the squabble. But all right.
And understanding when it comes to you being in jail and allowing stuff that's going on the streets to infect what's happening in jail. A lot of people have been hurt that way, and some people have even been laid to rest that way. I hang the phone up, get off the phone, I go sit back where I was before I went to use that phone that morning. Now, every morning like clockwork, TMZ used to come on at 11 o'clock. Everybody knew that program was already programmed in the TV. So by the time I get off the phone and make it back to my seat, it's past 11 o'clock. It's about 11:15, 11:10. Hey, however, I know TMZ should be on. When I go sit down, Stories was on. And I don't remember if it was General Hospital or what Stories it was, but Stories did not belong on this TV. Stories should have been on the other TV that Loff shared with Lottie and Fat Dog. Being that Fat Dog was at Unicorn and wouldn't see that TV till the afternoon. Just so happened that day, a monkey wrench was thrown in Loft program to where he couldn't watch Stories on that TV. So when I come sit down, Story Times is on my TV. No, we are not about to watch slow.
He looked like a big old, that's my TV, cuz, what is you doing, ass nigga? I could tell he had that regulated. That fit his personality perfect. He probably was not playing about that program on that screen on my mama, especially how he described how they had it set up and designated.
Stories, slow stories. Sometimes it's good. For the most part, I'm not a fan of Stories. I used to have to watch Stories all day, every day in a goddamn state.
That's what happened. You accidentally watch them a couple times in a row and you'll get caught up in it, even though you don't like Stories. Next thing you know the whole storyline. He ain't lying on my mama.
And I'm tired of Stories. I didn't want to watch Stories. So when I sit down, I grab the remote and I turn to TMZ. So when I turn to TMZ, Loff like, hey, what you doing? You know, I'm watching Stories.
Oh yeah, but still then, like, that's kind of bold, disrespectful. Somebody sitting there staring at the screen. Even if that's your old TV you regulating, you hadn't been around. When you walk up, just to grab the remote control and just change the channel, that's trying to mark somebody out in a lot of people's eyes off top. It would probably be more appropriate to be like, cuz, you really watching this? And if he'd have been like, yeah, you be like, well, cuz, why you don't go take it on your TV? But just to go switch it, unless that's the way they always did it, that sound like you was trying to kneel off top.
So I'm like, Loff, bro, come on, bro. We not about to do that. You know I don't watch Stories, and you know Stories Do not be on this TV. Story's supposed to be right there.
But that's just like if you allow somebody to borrow something and then you're ready for it back. That don't mean you walk up and snatch it out their hand. You be like, let me get that back. It's the way you did it, probably. Like, I mean, you entertained a problem that could have been avoided probably just by your approach.
So just so happened at that time, this was the inauguration. This was the inauguration of Donald Trump. Was this his first term? Oh, like this was like either his first term or during around the time. Oh, no. Excuse me. This was during the time when the First Step Act was first being passed and they were on TV politicking and talking about it. So that day, a lot of older homies had stayed back, and that was the political TV during the afternoon. So the homies that stayed back, which was Lottie, I don't remember Fat Dog being in there, but Lottie had it on this channel.
Imagine a group of black men have 3, 4, what do you say, 6 TVs, whatever number, and having issues we have to fight over what's on the screen of one of them. We got to get it together, black people.
Which was like CNN or something. And they watching a political debate. So because they was watching a political debate right there, Loff felt the need that he can watch stories on his TV. So when Loff explained like, hey bro, you know, yeah, they watching this on that. I'm like, Loff, look bro, if it was anything else, I'm not even tripping over these TVs. You the homie, but I don't watch stories, bro. You know I watch TMZ every day at this time, bro. You gonna have to take a hit on the stories today. So he like, what?
You saying it real calm and respectful right now. I wonder if that was your exact tone when you was getting that cuz. I'm just wondering, just following the story. Hey, Jefe, don't care about know what the checks say. Y'all go follow up, cuz cracking.
So I'm like, bro, you gonna have to take a hit, but we talking regular, because like I said, this the homie, this my partner. Ain't no need for me to be aggression, and we ain't no enemies or nothing like that. So from there, he mad because he passionate about story, just like I was passionate about, you know what I'm saying, TMZ being programmed in his TV, and this is what we watch. So from there, we have a little back and forth, and a back and forth get kind of heated to where fighting words were exchanged. And Loff was like, basically, we can get down. And he like, we can get down. I'm like, what? I'm like, hey, look, bro, check this out. You come around this table, bro, that's what we gonna do. We was on the other side of the table from each other, but sitting at the same table. Where my seat was, our seat was the square table. Bam, bam, I'm to the left, he to the right.
Yeah, I definitely could have skipped past all the chain stuff and just went to this part about the TVs. My bad, y'all. Not saying that I don't enjoy just going through hearing the story, but that wasn't the point of going through all this.
We go back and forth. Our back and forth really don't lead to nothing because the homie T-Bone from 5'9", who was older homie, he stepped in. And he like, what's going on? I explained to him like, T-Bone, blase blah with the TVs. T-Bone like, oh yeah, man, you already know this be on that TV, bro. Like, you can catch up with stories tomorrow, blase blah. Y'all need to leave that alone, homie. You know, we all homies, blase blah. So I'm like, for sure. I'm already irritated, so I don't even care about TMZ no more. So with that, I hop up, spin to my cell. I go to my cell, turn the MP3 player on, start listening to some music, pull some wax out, get the smoking. I'm probably in the room about 2 or 3 minutes where the homie from IVC, Lil Man, beeline to my cell. When Lil Man beeline to my cell, he come up in my cell. Him and Loff was cellies. He like, you straight, bro? I'm like, yeah. He like, man, what happened with this nigga? So I'm telling him, explaining to him what happened.
Just for the record, I know every homie he done mentioned, neighborhood, east side. I'm just saying.
So he like, yeah, man, you know, man, Loff crazy, man, extra out, man. You know, you see what I be having to deal with to go with in the cell. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. When me and Lil Man in the cell talking, I guess Loff probably feel we in the cell talking about him. I feel some type of way that he get up from out his seat and come to my cell. And instead of knocking on my cell door, which would be respectful.
It's odd. We can take note to what would be respectful, but we didn't mention that when we just changed the channel. Let's just take a note of that.
He opened it, pulled it open. Hey, cuz, let me holler at you. I'm like, what? I'm just getting high, the high just sitting there. And I'm like, hey, look, bro, go on, Loff. I'm like, look, bro, that situation, homie, I'm in here minding my business, like, bro, I'm gone. He like, nah, bro, but you had said something. So I guess amongst our exchange, whatever he had said warranted me being defensive and telling him that I whoop him. So he like, bro, you basically said you would whoop me, bro, like, woo, woo, woo. So I'm standing at the door like, bro, close my door. So he's steady, still talking about the situation. So I'm like, man, all right, I tell him, I'm like, bro, you trying to get down? He like, yeah, we got to get down. So I'm like, all right, I tell homie Lil, man, hey, watch out. Homie Lil, man, he get out the cell, close the door, I come on my shirt, I'll come out here so we get it in. We get it in. Next I know the homie obviously opening the door, calling my name. Boom, he calling my name, bam. Come in the cell, grab me, I look up at him, you know what I'm saying? He like, hey bro, that's, you know, that shit over with, woo, woo, you know what I'm saying? They break it up. I go out my cell, you know, I'm standing out on the tier. Other homies out there, they chopping it up, we chopping it up. Everybody, people coming in from rec trying to figure out what's going on. Everybody getting briefed on what's going on. While they getting briefed about what's going on, Loff come out the cell. He come out the cell and he talking loud, woo woo, you know, and he bloody. And he talking loud, so it's kind of like people looking around other races and stuff. So he walking up on me, so I'm like, hey Loff, don't walk up on me. Like if you walk up on me, we gonna go live on this tier. Just blow this tier up, bro. We already got it.
You apparently, you say y'all locked up. You was getting the best of him. Somebody called your name. You got on, and now he coming and want some more. Man, you not just locking up. You talking about don't do it. I don't understand that. I'm not, that's fine for him. Me personally, if I just had something with you in the cell and I'm outside the cell and you coming toward me aggressively, there's nothing to talk about. EC.
In there, bro. That's that. Leave it alone, bro. So the homies is telling him the same thing. So
the homies gonna have to tell him, they're gonna have to do more than that. They're gonna have to physically stop him. Cause I'm gonna stand my ground, and if he come within whatever, it's cracking.
Homies further take him to a cell, you know what I'm saying, wash up, you know what I'm saying. That was the end of that situation. So, you know, Loff went out there to the yard, and on that yard there was other homies from East Coast. Like I said, you had T-Bone that was in the unit, had Fish from 6 Deuce, you had Fish from 7-6, you had Pooh. I don't know if Pooh was from 190, it might have been from 190. You had
little light skinned, little skinny frame nigga, who, from 190? I'm just asking if you trying to figure out if that's his profile, that might be cut.
No, I think Spook from 190 was already gone. You had Dog from 6'8". At this time, you had about like 6'7" coasters on the yard. Yak from 8'9", and all that. So he go out to the yard. I don't know what he tell them or whatever, but you know, when I go out to the yard, you know, for like a few days, it was kind of like I ain't.
So I don't know. I thought his brand was really like about something else. I didn't realize this was his brand. I thought it was like a moral to the story. That was just a story about you fighting a smaller guy from East Coast and getting the best of him. And then he wanted to fight again and you didn't. It kept me glued because I was really looking for a bigger climax, I think.
I'll say standoffish, but to the coasters, like the older homies from coasters I talked to, none of them really said nothing. But Fish from 6 Deuce kept it regular. Then as a few days transpired, other ones came hollering like, hey man, what's up, bro? You know, I heard you and the homie got down and got into it, what happened? And I kind of pretty much explained to him what happened. Like, you know, I ain't no tripping, it wasn't nothing like that. Like, you know, we got into it behind a goddamn TV.
Man, I'm finna tell one near and the rest of them, cuz, go holler at your homie, cuz. I already hollered at cuz. I already told Cub.
On the remote. You know, we got programs up there, and you know, he didn't buy by the program because of this. That led to us having a back and forth, and we got down. You know what I'm saying? So they was just furthermore like, man, you know, it's all good.
Dang, so that was the way the program was set. You could come grab the remote control and change the channel without saying nothing, whatever you want. That was a cold program to be going by. I can't imagine a Nia just one day out the blue not wanting to go with that. That seemed like you might have tripped that day and did something out of the norm that wasn't cool. Because that wasn't respectful to change the channel while somebody watching it. I don't care if that is the channel that you got say so over. It's the way that it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And as a gangster and a gentleman, you should know better.
Bro, you know, niggas ain't on that, ain't on no bullshit. Don't want you to feel we on no bullshit, none of that. You feel me? This crib. So I'm like, you know, for sure, you know, and that was respectable. And that was my situation with Loff. Me and Loff, you know, after that, you know, we was straight. We never really had no problems. But I ain't gonna lie.
Or is that to say you turned it down because he still wanted to fight? Is that considered a turn down? I'm not classifying it. What and say not to be messy, but I'm just curious. Is that called turning it down? Because it seemed like Cuz still wanted to get out.
The relations wasn't like really the same, but you know, we was still up there, and like I said, if something happened, you know, it was still Crip, you know, I aid in the system. However, long story short, shortly after that, he ended up transferring her loan, and I end up getting transferred as well. So the reason why I told this story, because this story is going to kick off a chain of events of other things that happened.
Okay, he answered my question. It's a method to his madness. There's a reason why he told this story. Because otherwise, it's like, why the did he just share this with the names and details? But that's why he started with the chain, then this. Okay, he working on some chapter 1, 2, 3s. I get it. Say less.
In the federal prison by way of this situation. Rest in peace to Loff. Loff had got out. I spoke to Loff a few times. You know, Loff ended up losing his life, you know what I'm saying, to gun violence. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to speak on this situation. It's one of those situations, if you know, you know.
SPI exclusive. This is Jefe Banks Music. Black Box Productions.
When you're sticking to the script, it's a lonely road. Before they left the hole, tank the big homie told. He know the way this testimony hold. On that Loff, they gon' politic on him cold. SPI Bank EC for really though. Used to really go, ask my nigga Chili Mo. Had a cold gun game, crazy knuckle up. Bust on enemies with baby double up. Back and forth with the main streets on 98. Q9 cell, me and Lil Johnny Ray. Posted up on Colton with a big ratchet. Way before Lil Wayne threw on that snitch jacket. Walked the yard with Slim Bad, what up Big Drac? Gave them back they L cuz you did that. Love my lokes even if we don't interact. Lil Mont, Baby Psych and Lil Black. EC. 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 EC.
SPI exclusive.
EC. 97th Street, smack dead in the Middle East. Fuck the police for King Ron and Lil Reese. Tell the truth, SP3 never lack rhymes. Sometimes feel I might die behind my rap lines. We ain't in Malibu now, we in Maui. Baby Pie, EC, Bear, me and Wowie. Tico, Kiko, EC Red. Still can't believe Frankie and CC dead. Come to putting in work, did more than a little dirt. Airbrush shirt. Big Milk, Lil Merc, Lil Box, Baby Ant, both souls, all the coops. First Street to 24 when we call the troops. Lost a legend when we buried Bub. Coach love to the riders that carry cuz, never seen it coming. Was a little foul, still took heart though, my hat off to Lil Owl. EC. 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 EC.
Baymax Business.
EC. Big Spot and Lil Spotter both got an Ezel. Tiny Spotter got 19, rest in peace, Ezel. Shouts to the females representing EC. The brownies to the quotas, rest in peace, TT. Big Tommy's son on the 7, that's Stay Pops. Me and mine never bow down to J-Box. And that's the coldest crip a nigga ever met. Coldest crip I ever heard about, better yet. 33rd Neverary, only time a nigga ran. On the land, go ask my nigga Ran. ECG unit, came up a little short. Got told on by that nigga Lil Show. Went on TV, the homies did BT Ugly. Got love for Infinite and Lil EC Buzzy. For death though, that mean to my dying day. EC, that's all I've been trying to say. EC. 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 EC.
Black Box Production.
EC.
Crips out the cage, keyway, keyway. Free the Crips out the cage, keyway, keyway. Free the Crips out the cage, keyway. Free the Crips out the cage, keyway, keyway. Free the Crips out the cage.
With Nip Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Lo. You know I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.